Welcome back to Man Down Sports, man. This episode is inspired by one of the trollers that be in my comment section. I think his name is uh Blamboozle or something like that. Blamboozle. I hope you see this tonight, man. This episode is dedicated to you and Luka Vandross. We gonna go ahead and get it popping, man, because he went and was a guest on the Game the Mind podcast with LeBron James. Shout out to my homie Apex Jones, who I follow him on X. I got that name from him. I like when Rick Bucher called it the Mind Game podcast. I thought that was funny because it is a bit of a mind game that they're playing because it seems like this whole podcast, and I haven't watched any episode of season 2 until today. I saw a clip of part 2 of what Steve Nash and Luka and LeBron was talking about, and I saw and heard some interesting things that I wanted to talk about on the show. Plus, I owe Bling Blues of this Luka Vandross episode, right? So he was supposed to get it this morning, but hey, late tonight is fine, right? But the Mind Games podcast is a perfect one, but Game the Mind, I like inverting it. I like saying it backward. I mean, that is perfect. Game the Mind. I mean, you're really trying to trick the mind. Really trying to rewrite history. You're really trying to unscramble scrambled eggs. Like, it's almost like his career is toward the end and winding down, and he need to put the final finishing touches on this mind game, or this trick bag he's been conjuring up with Clutch Sports and Rich Paul and whoever else he bought in the media, right? This is this final trick bag. Hey, heck, I've been having my people do it, and I haven't been having my minions in the media do it for so long. I'm gonna step down off my throne and I'm gonna do it myself and start a podcast. It reminds me so much of the Bible with Satan, man. Like, it's been so many demons on earth doing his bidding and doing his work, and then at some point, if you read enough of the Bible, you realize that when Antichrist rises to power, it will be Satan himself. So it's when it gets to his last ditch efforts, just before the return, oh man, I got a short time now. I got to get this done. And the demons has been doing my work for so long. They ain't gonna do it. I got to step down and do it myself. So he's gonna step down and put himself in, in a physical form and get it popping. That's what LeBron is doing. It's toward the end of his career. He he got a short time. I got to get it popping. And Chris Broussard and Rich Paul and Nick Wright and Shannon Sharp, that's not enough. I got to get down and make sure I got to get this. I got to put this in my own hands. That's what he's doing. It's a mind game. Game to mind. What's going on? Let's see who we got in here. Simply Hot Takes, man. What's going on, brother? Yeah, I did do it. It's gonna be a good episode, though. I mean, we ain't gonna get on Luka Vandross too much, man. I like Luka, man. I like him, man. When you hear him talk, and he's really a humble guy. I like Luka, man. So I don't like doing stuff like this, man. He got horrible fans, though. Him and Jokic got horrible fans. Mel was in the rappers like Sting. LeBron is the single most annoying human in history of mankind. Media is a form of mind control. You're absolutely right. We watch it every day when the media tries to degenerate foundation of Black Americans. Hey, thanks, Darius Williams. I mean, you seem like a well-versed and well-read individual, man. I agree with that. Man, let's get started, man. So it's a lot of interesting things that I'm going to play from the Game to Mind podcast. Like I said, shout out to Apex Jones for that one. I had to borrow that from you, big dog. But one of the first things that I thought was interesting was that we're talking about fundamentals, right? They got because there was Luka was on the show. He was a guest, so they had to get into his background and his upbringing and him playing with Real Madrid since he was 13. Playing professional since he was 13. So they got into that stuff. And make sure y'all hit the like button on your way in as well. So they got into that stuff, man, and they got into the fundamentals. And when you listen to LeBron James talk or Rich Paul talk, or when you listen to Game to Mind podcast, you got to know one thing: the topic is really not the topic. Every episode is well thought out by LeBron and his camp, and he always has a motive, and that motive is always going to be self-preservation, right? So whatever they're discussing is really for him and his legacy and his reputation and all of that stuff. So he's going to be either doing one or two things. He's either going to be figuring out a way to big himself up, or he's going to figure out a way to downplay someone else so the end result can be to big himself up, right? So it don't matter who they're discussing and what they're talking about. It's always going to come back to LeBron, right? He can't hide that, right? He tries to, but for a person who, you have to go beneath the surface when some people like LeBron talk. Like when he say red light, it's not really red light. It's always something else, right? So I want y'all to carefully listen to how he, just listen to it.
We didn't play that much. Same on the weekends. It's only game 2, maybe even 1.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of practice, but I love practice. We had a lot of skill set first, but that was like half an hour, 45 minutes.
Fundamentals.
Yeah.
Skills.
Just to warm up, and then we would play. But that's a lot of different exercise playing. It's not just 5-on-5, 3-on-3. It's advantage, 4-on-3, 2-on-3. It's just
learning to read.
Yeah,
learning to.
So he's talking about how he grew up training with Real Madrid. Like I said, he played with them since he was 13, so he's been professional since he's 13. And he's talking about how they worked on the fundamentals and they practice a lot. And basically what he's saying is they practice more than they played. Like it's a little different over here in America, especially with AAU, where you're playing tournaments year round. You're traveling. You're playing a lot of games. Sometimes you're playing 3-4 games a week, possibly 5 sometimes if it's summertime. So you're playing so many games a week. And he was saying that was the difference. But he discussed how practice was. He said they come in 30, 45 minutes. They doing, drills and fundamentals, which I don't know if it's changed with basketball, but when I grew up playing basketball, it was the same way. Maybe it's different. But when I grew up playing basketball, we get in, we run laps, we stretch, right? Then we get a layup line to warm up. We shoot some jump shots, some free throws. Then coach will come in there, and then now we doing simple 3-man weave type work, just to work on running the lanes and fast breaks and spacing and all that stuff while you're running the lanes. Then we might get into that drill where 2 defenders is at one end and 3 people with the ball coming down. It's not a 3-man weave, but they're dribbling. 2 people are running lanes. The ball handler are coming up the middle, and you got a 3-on-2, and you got the defense. The part of the drill that helps them is they get to communicate. One person has to say I got back. One person has to say I got ball. Somebody's got to take ball and force that ball handler to get the ball up. You can't let him dribble all the way down the lane. So first defender steps up, maybe free throw line, maybe 3-point line if you want to stop him, and you force him to get the ball up. And the person behind him has to take that first pass, and then of course, so on and so forth. But you're trying to score quick on a 3-on-2, and then what happens if you miss the shot? The 2 defenders now have to get back on a 2-on-1, and the guy who took the shot has to get back on defense to guard a 2-on-1. So it's basically a 3-on-2 this way and a 2-on-1 going back the other way. Those type of drills. That's why Luka's saying that, hey man, we did stuff like that, advantage drill. He called it advantage drills. Steve Nash and LeBron James have already decided before the show that their angle and their goal is to point out that the American players aren't working on fundamentals. No, I don't know if that's true or not, but he's saying the American players aren't working on fundamentals anymore. Like, I guess they're not doing that type of stuff no more, right? Which is fine if you want to point that out and say we need to get better with it. But it always comes back to, now we're going to talk about how LeBron James is so much more in the higher air when it comes to fun. Like, just watch how he snake his way into this one.
React like that was an emphasis in Europe.
Yes,
that's the biggest difference.
Yeah,
between youth basketball in Europe and America is that it's the development skill, the fundamentals are not expressed. It's like just play, just play. You know, and a lot of guys and a lot of kids are not developing their skill. They're not developing the fundamentals. You know, like you just said, you know, there was times during practice that it was all about, you know, advantage basketball, 4-on-3, 3-on-2. You know, if I can create 2 on the ball, then I know we have a numbers advantage. You know?
Okay, so this is where he gets his self into the whole thing, right? Because LeBron James' entire game, you know, once he figured out, I think the Detroit series where he went Super Saiyan, where they beat a team that they wasn't supposed to beat, and LeBron just went nuts. I mean, that's still one of the best playoff performances I've seen by a young player. I mean that ranks up there very high, right? Of course, you know what Magic did in the finals against Philly is probably number one for a young player in the playoffs. I mean, you know, Jordan 63, but that was in a loss. You know, so what LeBron did against Detroit was crazy good, right? So I think that's when his style of play was kind of really birthed. I think I don't know if I don't think Paul Silas was already gone, so he had Mike Brown coaching him at this time. Yeah, so Mike Brown. So whatever Paul Silas had him doing, if you remember when LeBron first came in the game, they was trying to develop him into an off-ball player, and he was getting a lot of he was working on his mid-range. He was getting catch and shoots. He was coming off of screens. He was coming off of pin downs, curl actions, all of that type of stuff, man. And it didn't look bad. It looked good. If he would have kept going down that path and developed that part of his game and would have been more of a shooter, where he developed that mid-range like Kobe and Mike did, man, he probably would have been a GOAT. I mean, he probably would have got a lot of stuff done. But once Paul Silas left and Mike Brown came in, they realized, D'Antoni was doing his thing with Steve Nash, which is interesting that Steve Nash is on this podcast. But the 5-man out concept, they was moving fast. Steve Nash was making all the decisions for everybody on the floor. He was just running around like a chicken with his head cut off with the ball, and he was making all the passes, right? That was so they somewhat developed that type of style for LeBron, where we're going to give you the ball as the point guard. You got ball handling skills enough to do it, and we'll just spread the floor, put shooters around you. Let's go get Boobie Gibson. Let's go get Mike Williams. Let's go get Delonte West. Let's go get Danielle Marshall. Let's get Antoine Jameson. Big Z can shoot it, right? So many. Who else they had? Damon Jones. They had a lot of shooters around LeBron, and their whole concept. Because I've heard LeBron mention this time and time again. When they got the floor spread, and he utilized the high screen and roll, and he's a threat coming off that screen, getting downhill. So they usually might hedge and then get back on their player, or they might double him off that screen, and he quickly gets the ball up. And his whole thing is, now we got a 4-on-3. It sounds good. That's the same thing that was saying when Luka was with Dallas. Jason Kidd, I heard him say, "Oh man, who don't want to play for?" Like, as a matter of fact, Mark Cuban said it on the podcast. He went on the podcast and was talking about it right after he got Kyrie Irving, the season after Kyrie Irving. that was during the summertime, and he talked about, oh man, yeah, he draws the help and it draws the double team up top. He gives the ball up. Now we got 4-on-3. All right, I got it. But your most dynamic scorer, if it's Michael Jordan, I mean, do you really want Mike to draw a double team up top and to give the ball up to, I don't know, Rodman, and now we got 4-on-3? Like, do you want him to give it up to who else was in that start lineup? Luke Longley. Now we got 4-on-3. No. Who else is in that starting lineup? Ron Harper. All right. Jordan uses a high screen and roll. They double him all the way 30 feet away from the goal, and he gives it up, and now it's 4-on-3. Other than Michael Jordan, who you want to finish that play? So you get the ball out of your best player hand because you're running high screen and roll, and now you're saying I'm going to let a role player operate in 4-on-3 because I like those eyes and I like those numbers. Well, when you got a player that's so good, I really like my eyes when he take the shot more than anything else. Right? The way Michael Jordan did it, got him 6 rings with him ending the plays, not starting them and letting someone else get 4-on-3 because I draw the double team. No. I want him to end the play. I want him taking shots. I want Kobe taking shots. Kobe got 5 rings that way. Mike got 6 rings that way. Luka has 0. Steve Nash never been to the finals. He got 0. LeBron had to form super teams to get his. So this play style is really not that good. It sounds good. I got 4-on-3. That sounds really good. Just like D'Antoni's offense sounds really good. Hey, look, man, we got 5 man out. The paint is wide open. It sounds really good. But it ain't winning unless you develop a super team. But listen to how LeBron validates his play style.
Instead of reading the game that way, a lot of kids think, when we grew up, if I have 2 on the ball, then I have to figure out a way how to get around this guy or split the double team. Right. I still have to be able to score.
So he's talking about now, mind you, what type of player do you think will split a double team and still beat 2 men to get a shot off? These are people like Kobe. These are people like possibly Mike. I wouldn't say Mike so much, but definitely Kobe. Those type of relentless scorers that says you can bring 2 all you want to. I'm good at scoring on. I can score on 2. I practice this. Right? They call that playing the wrong way. They don't say that I'm making the right play when I give the ball. When you bring a double team, I'm making the right play by giving it up. I don't think the right play is exactly what the defense wants you to do. Like if the defense is in their scouting report saying we want to get the ball out of LeBron's hands, so let's double him here to get him out of his hands. And LeBron is saying, hey, I'm going to do exactly what the defense want me to do. As soon as they bring a double, I'm going to do exactly what you're supposed to do when a double comes and give the ball up and let the other guys try to win the game for us. Because that's what you're supposed to do. And that's why his championship runs don't end with wins unless he go and get superstars. Because if that's the mentality and that's the way he want to play and that's the thought process, when LeBron gets doubled and gives the ball up, you can't be giving the ball to Boobie Gibson. You have to be giving the ball to a D Wade or Kyrie or Bosh or Ray Allen or Kevin Love or J.R. Smith or Anthony Davis. I have to be giving the ball to a guy that is a number 1 just like I am in order for my stuff to work. My stuff can't work with a regular number 2 like Jalen Williams is what SGA got. My stuff can't work like that. I need a number 1, certified number 1 beside me. I actually need 2 number 1s. Bosh Wade, AD Dwight, Kyrie Love. So I need 2 number 1s for the stuff that I'm talking about. The way that I talk about playing basketball, I need 2 number ones for it to work. Because when I make the right play and give the ball up, we're dangerous if I'm giving it up to a dude that's just as bad as me on the court, and bad in the good way. Just as a dog as I am. I can't be giving it to someone lesser, because I tried that with Boobie Gibson and Mo Williams and Big Z. That wasn't enough. I can't win with just a regular squad. I need overkill. Right? But he's trying to low key invalidate a particular mindset of a scorer and then validate his mindset of making the right play.
And
Really,
that is just, it stops you from reading the game.
Yep.
And you can make it through grade school playing that way. You can make it through high school. You can make it through college. And some guys figure out a way to even make it through the NBA. But as far as how to be great,
right,
to be great and transcended and being able to inspire your teammates, inspire yourself, inspire your family, inspire the game.
Yeah.
Being able to
What is he talking
on
about?
that wavelength. And I think that's the kind of different, the difference between, how they grow up in Europe teaching the game and how we, teach the game here. I think it's a lost art here.
What is he talking about? Inspire your teammates, inspire the game, inspire. I don't know what I don't know what they got to do with fundamentals and giving the ball up when you're done. Like all this stuff he talking about. Look, man, who needed to inspire D Wade? I'm trying to figure that out. What type of inspiring did D Wade need? What type of inspiring did Bosh need? What type of inspiring did Rashard Lewis need when he got there? What type of inspiring did Mike Miller need when he got there? What type of inspiring did Ray Allen need when he got there? Who needs to be inspired by you making the right play? And Nino said Kyrie, Bosh, and Love aren't number ones. That's a lie from hell. And the devil don't care who tell those type of lies. They are absolutely number ones. It's not even a question. Kevin Love was a number one for Minnesota, and he was putting up Jokic numbers. That's why LeBron wanted him. Bosh, very similar. And Kyrie Irving was number one before LeBron even got there. Also number one in Boston. First year he got to Boston. Boston had the best record in the league almost up until All-Star break. And then Kyrie found out he had some stuff in his needed to get cleaned up. And he wouldn't have season-ending surgery. But he was in the MVP discussion with the best record in the league. And that was Kyrie Irving as number one. A mature number one, not a rookie number one or a second-year player number one. A rookie number one, they're still developing. He was a mature number one that already had a ring in Boston. Did a hell of a job. Come on now. Don't be silly. Yeah, Jones, Easy Jones, Rashard Lewis was on that squad. Mike Miller was on that squad. Rashard Lewis was the second best player on the Orlando Magic when they went to the finals with Dwight Howard. Some might say Jameer Nelson because I think he made an All-Star. Some might even say Turkoglu. I think it was Rashard. Ray Allen was the third best player on the Boston Big Three. Mike Miller was the second best player on the Grizzlies with Pau Gasol. And Jason Williams was on that squad, coached by Hubie Brown. Was it Hubie? No, was it Hubie Brown? It might have been Hubie. I don't know. It was one of those old guys, right? So this dude went and got number twos to be on his bench and number ones to be in his starting lineup. he went to play with Wade and Bosh, who both was number ones. So you got 3 number ones in the starting lineup, and then you got Ray Allen as a number 3, Mike Miller as a number 2, Rashard Lewis as a number 2. They always on this bench at some point. I don't think they all 3 was there at the same time. but they always on that Miami Heat bench at some point. Had all-star level and Hall of Fame level number 2s and 3s on his bench, just chilling with a super team in the star lineup. So that's the first part of that, right? That's him really trying to validate his play style and validate his thought process when it comes to basketball. But this one was real interesting, right? So this is, where's Young Disciple at? Is Young Disciple in the comments? I really need Young Disciple to be in here for this. Young Disciple, if you're in the if you here, man, say something in the comment section, because this is the part where you gotta. I gotta take you to school a little bit, right? This is, and it's funny how it happens, because either I was right about what I was saying to you maybe a couple of weeks ago about efficiency, or your favorite player, LeBron James, is watching the Man Down Sports. Is one or the other. It could be both, right? So Young Disciple, come here. Like Bubba Dub say, come here, Young Disciple. Where you at? Somebody go get Young Disciple, man. He gotta see this one. He gotta see this one. Okay, so Young Disciple, we was having a conversation. As a matter of fact, I'll play the conversation for you. Where's the conversation at? Here we go. Y'all remember this conversation right here about efficiency? Efficiency is just not field goal percentage. And I hate people that say efficiency.
Bro, in basketball, it is, bro.
No, it's not.
In basketball.
Okay, so remember that. I'm explaining to him efficiency, because this conversation started because people like Chris Broussard and Young Disciple and other people would say, Kobe Bryant he's not efficient. He's not an efficient player because he shot 46% for his career. He's not efficient, right? And I'm like, well, efficiency it goes beyond field goal percentage. I mean, like, efficient basketball actually means more in other areas than your field goal percentage. I think field goal percentage is the worst way to measure an efficient basketball player. Like, that's the worst way. But I'm not saying if you had like a gumbo mix of what efficiency is, field goal percentage could be in there, but it's an ingredient that I probably could do without, right? But all the other things are very, very necessary, right? The other things I was describing is what efficiency really is, right? So this is what I'm explaining to him. And he's saying efficiency is just field goal percentage. That's what he said. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Oh, yes, it is. What else is efficiency?
Well, I'm about to tell you, but you doing too much talking, right? You
okay, go ahead.
All right, so efficiency is, well, first of all, field goal percentage is field goal percentage. I'm not about to, if something got a word for it, I'm gonna use that word, field goal percentage. I'm not using efficiency to describe field goal percentage because it's so much more to efficiency. You could be an efficient.
Well, bro, that's the basketball word. That ain't me. I didn't come up with that, bro.
And that's my point. You can be efficient in so many different ways, right? Here's how you become an efficient scorer, because there's so much things is going on in the possession. One, you got 24 seconds to shoot the ball, right? Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Who is more efficient? The guy who has the ball, who got 2 screens set to get him a mismatch. He took about 15 dribbles and he used about 18 seconds of the shot clock to get his shot, versus a guy who didn't have the ball and just came off 1 screen, caught it, took 1 dribble in the mid-range and pulled up, and he only used 5 seconds, 1 dribble, and 1 screen. Which one was a more efficient play?
No.
Which one?
I don't even know what you asking, bro.
Exactly.
I don't even know what you asking.
And that's my point. That's my point.
Talking about 1 dribble, 2 dribbles.
Yes. Okay.
What?
Okay. All right.
Bro.
Yes, it does.
Not in basketball.
No, that's efficiency, bro. Doing less work to get the job done.
Bro, that
efficiency.
is the definition of the word. Yes, I think I agree with you.
And that's what it means in basketball. No,
it does not. What's more? When somebody say efficient in basketball, bro, ain't nobody talking about, bro.
Really? I am.
Bro, we talking
I
about
am.
basketball though, bro.
Yeah, I am. Do
No,
you
no,
dribble?
no,
Do you dribble in
I'm
basketball?
not talking about me and you, bro.
Do you
I'm not
dribble?
talking about me and
Do
you.
you dribble in
But
basketball?
big bro, I'm not talking about me and you, bro. I'm talking about in a basketball world, bro. They're not talking about nigga how many dribbles you take.
And that's why. So his whole stance is efficiency has nothing to do with how many dribbles you're taking. It's only about your field goal percentage. He said no one in the basketball community or the basketball world talks about efficiency when it comes to dribbling the basketball, how many times you dribble it, how many seconds you take off the shot clock, how many screens you use, how much movement you're using. Any wasted energy is what efficiency is. So in basketball, it's going to be anything that you can waste, and you definitely can waste dribbles. He said no one talks about dribbling the basketball when they speak of efficiency. Well, guess what, young disciple? Your king, and let me look in this camera. Your king said just that on Game the Mind podcast. Here we go.
But going back to like in Europe, in Madrid, they're teaching you to play and think through the prism of team game, making the right decisions. You know, our kids are a little bit corrupted, partly by social media, that it's about his bag. He's got this. What can he do here? What can he do?
What does it even mean?
Right. Bag of tricks. But you know, like think about it. Like you guys both you made a couple tonight, crazy shots. You made a couple tough fadeaways tonight. But the reason you guys are great players, because most of the time you can do the easy shit. Get to the rim, finish, make your free throws, make your open threes. Okay, then you get to the step back, boom. The game is won on making fundamental plays, not your bag, right? I know they don't talk about that in Europe when you're growing up.
Yeah,
right?
no, I never heard the thing bag since until I came to the NBA.
Right. And when I was growing up, it wasn't talked about it. Like the least amount of dribbles to get where you need to get to was what I grew up.
Efficiency.
Michael Jordan wasn't out there dribbling 1,000 times, you know, to get to the spot. He'd get to a spot and raise. You
know? Wait. Did he just say what I think he said, young disciple? Did Steve Nash and LeBron James just sit down on Game the Mind podcast? And so this is what you got to understand about people when they talk, right? Sometimes when they're trying to sell something to you, right? Sometimes you got to understand that what they're presenting to you might be a lie, but they might say something true to validate that lie. But that truth that they say is really what you really can learn from what they just said. So what he's really trying to say is he's trying to present to you that bag don't matter. Having a bag don't matter because he don't have a bag. And he's tired of hearing people on social media say he don't have a bag. So what he's trying to present to everyone is that it don't matter to have a bag. But in order for him to make that a true statement, he had to give something up. And he had to admit that efficiency is about how many dribblers you're taking. It is about those type of things, right? He had to admit that. That's something that go against him and goes for Kobe. And it goes for Michael Jordan. Right? Because those are things they were good at. These are not things that LeBron is good at. Because LeBron is the king of give me the ball, come set me a screen. I'm dribble. I call for the screen. I use the screen. I dribble that way. If I get the mix match, now I back out. Still dribbling, I back out. Spread the floor. I got the mismatch I want. Now I can go one-on-one. And that's his game. That's 10, 15 seconds gone. At least 10 to 12 dribbles gone. And you done use the screen and you did all of this, and that's less efficient than catch and shoot. That's less efficient than I'm sitting in the post, give me the ball, one dribble fade, one dribble up and under, 2 dribble pull up, which takes 3 to 5 seconds to do and 1 to 2 dribbles to do. That's more efficient basketball. What LeBron plays is less efficient basketball. But to validate that you don't need a bag, he had to admit what efficiency really is and that he really knows what efficiency is. So I'll let you hear it again.
The least amount of dribbles to get where you need to get to was what I grew up watching.
Efficiency.
Michael Jordan wasn't out there dribbling.
The least amount of dribbles to get to where you need to get to. And that's what he was taught when he was young. And Steve Nash said, yes, efficiency.
The least amount of dribbles to get where you need to get to was what I grew up watching.
Efficiency.
Michael Jordan wasn't out there dribbling 1,000 times.
Don't that sound exactly like what I was saying?
And raise. Isaiah Thomas, as great of a handle Isaiah Thomas had, Isaiah get to a spot and raise.
Don't that sound exactly like what I was saying? Like we sat here on this podcast and I tried to explain to this dude for over 25 minutes that's exactly what efficiency is, dog. I never forget. I was playing one-on-one on a Saturday morning with one of my good friends. His basketball, the basketball court was in his neighborhood, and actually you could see the basketball court from his window, from his room. So he was close to us. I used to walk down there, used to get my shots up. Right, I was out there super early. This particular day, he came out there with me, and I had already got my shots up. And he was like, "Let's play one-on-one." I'm playing on one-on-one, and at this time, I was a little bit more advanced than him. I think we probably was 14 at the time. I was a little bit more advanced than him, so I'm handling the ball and I'm doing everything. I'm getting past him and coming back, pulling. I'm doing all this crazy stuff. Right, I'm still winning the game, but this old head walked by. Never seen this dude before. He walked by. And he just looked at me and just shook. Now I see the old dude coming and he watching us play. So now I'm trying to show out, right? Trying to show out, and he just not impressed, just shaking his head. And then after the game was over, he pulled me to the side and he said, "You wasting a lot of dribbles and a lot of energy out there. Like you don't have to play like that. That's not good. Like we know you can handle the ball. You don't have to show us that on every play. You're obviously a little faster than him. Just blow by him and get the layup. You got the handles, that's good. You can use them if a defender is really that good that you can't get by and you might have to shake them off. You can use it then. But don't use stuff like that when you don't have to. Just blow by him and get the layup." And at 14, that's when I changed. Like I changed that day. Like I didn't take time. This was an older cat telling me this. I didn't take no time. I didn't waste no time to not take that advice. From that day on, I started working on just blowing by people with the least amount of dribbles as possible. Mid-range game was good. I had a good back down game. To only be 5'9", 5'10", I had a good back down game for a guard. Look at the way SGA play. You get to a spot, you rise up. You don't have to get all the way to the rim. You got a mid-range right there. Pull up. That's what MJ did. That's what Kobe did. I get to a spot, I rise up, there's the shot. 1 dribble, 2 dribble, 3 dribble pull up. There's nowhere in the half court setting where I can't get to I can get all the way to the rim with 2 dribbles anywhere from the 3-point line. I only need 2 dribbles. And from the 3-point line, you really only need 1. But when against defense, you might have to take a shorter dribble. You can't just extend all the way. But really from the 3-point line, if you're just playing one-on-one, I can get a layup with 1 dribble. I can get a mid-range with 1 dribble. You really don't need that many dribbles. So that's what efficiency is. Mostly, it's your time. You can waste time. So you can be efficient with your time. You can be efficient with how many times you dribble the ball. You can be efficient with how many screens you need or use. You can be efficient with what I would say dribbles, time, screens, movement, all that stuff. That's efficiency. And field goal percentage is really just field goal percentage. Field goal percentage is not efficiency unless you're describing it. Oh man, the way field goal percentage is efficiency is if I took 25 shots to score 20 points and you took 20 shots to score 20 points, I guess. Right? I guess you're more efficient. Maybe let's say you took 10 shots to get 20 points and I took 15 shots to get 20 points. I took more shots to get the same amount of points. So you could say I did more work, but field goal percentage don't tell you that who did the most work or who wasted the most energy, because you don't waste shots. A high percentage shot is a high percentage shot. It's either going to go in or it's not going to go in. So if I'm just missing shots, that don't tell me if I'm efficient or not. That just tells me I'm off today. Missing shots don't mean you're efficient or not efficient. It tells me you're either on or off. It don't tell you if you're efficient. Right? It don't. It don't tell me if I wasted energy or wasted movements or wasted shit. You can't waste a shot. How do you waste a shot? You can't waste it. This is another thing I learned when I was young. I learned I'd rather take a forced shot or a bad shot when I got my big man down there in position for a rebound, because I didn't think any shot that I've practiced over a long period of time, I know I can hit this shot. I practice it. It's not a bad shot to me. The only thing that makes it a bad shot is if I take it too early in the shot clock without enough passes to try to get something easier. Right. So if I take it like on a jump shot on the fast break and there's nobody down there, especially my big is not nowhere down there for the rebound. Right. That's a bad shot. But it's been times where I might get up in the air and maybe it was a bad decision because I got up in the air to make a pass and the pass is not there no more. Instead of me coming down and having a turnover or throwing the bad pass and having a live turnover that can turn into a fast break, if my big man's down low, I would take that shot. It might not be the best shot, but my big man got an opportunity to get the rebound. I'd rather take that mid-range shot right there that somebody might say is a bad shot, and I might miss it, and it might drop my field goal percentage. But what if I miss it, and then big Shaquille O'Neal down there gets the rebound and dunk it in? Pau Gasol or Andrew Bynum gets the rebound and dunk it in. Dwight Howard gets the rebound and dunk it in. Like Kobe played with big men. So if he takes a shot and miss, it's a great possibility they go clean it up. Great possibility. So what you see is a missed shot. We still end up getting 2 points from it. So you got to think about stuff like that. Field goal percentage don't tell you who the better player is. I'd rather him have that shot than him be the number one player in turnovers of all time. The number one all-time turnover king. I'd rather his field goal percentage be a little bit lower than his turnover rate be that high.
Isaiah Thomas, as great of a handle Isaiah Thomas had, Isaiah get to a spot and raise. All these guys that I grew up, Grant Hill, get to a spot. I'm bigger than you.
Straight line.
Big Dog Robinson, I'm bigger than you. Allen Houston, all these great players, that I grew up watching and admiring. Penny Hardaway, yes, they could dribble the basketball, but it's no Tracy McGrady. Even as great as Tracy's handle was, I'm bigger than you. I'm gonna get to the spot and at least amount of dribbles. Kevin Garnett. It's
good footwork, get
just
up over
good
top.
footwork, get over the top. If I'm a bigger than you and I get you on my shoulder, I get you on my hip, I'm gonna use my size. I see it all the time. It's like, I'll be on social media like LeBron has no bag. It's like I'm sitting over here with
what is that?
LeBron has no bag, and I'm sitting like I have 50 billion points.
Right.
Hey, that's a good point. Bleezo Gotti, the guy, he describing a style of play that doesn't fit him. He does not play like that. So how is he trying to kill the LeBron has no bag narrative by explaining how efficient Mike, Kobe, Isaiah, Garnett, and these guys are, Glenn Robinson, Allen Houston. He explained, he putting all these names out there who play nothing like him. And he played nothing like them. So you're trying to validate you not having a bag and trying to kill that narrative by talking about people who do have bags. Right. And you can't kill that narrative. You either have a bag or you don't. Why are you trying to protect yourself from the no bag narrative when we all know you don't have no bag? It's okay. You don't have to have a bag. You don't have to come out here and puff your chest up and try to validate yourself and try to kill a false narrative that you think is false, but it's actually true. Like, you're admitting you don't have a bag. You're basically saying, why would I need a bag? I got 50,000 points or 40,000 or whatever he's at. And that's a good flex. What I need a bag? That's true. You don't need a bag, but they're trying to act like having a bag is a bad thing. Ain't nothing wrong with having a bag. Like I just told you, I was trying to show my bag, and the old head came and told me, you don't need to do that. Just blow by him and get the points. Do I still have a bag? Yes. Am I showing it every time I get the ball? No. Does Kyrie Irving have a bag? Yes. Is he showing it every time I get the ball? No. Sometimes it's 2 dribble pull up. Did Kobe have a bag? Yes. Did he show it every time he got the ball? No. 1 dribble pull up. But it's okay to have a bag and know when to pull stuff out of your bag. Half the stuff that Tim Duncan was capable of, we didn't see. That don't mean he didn't have it and didn't work on it. I use it whenever the situation calls for it. Like when Kyrie Irving was going left for a game winner, and they switched out, I think, Rudy Gobert on him or somebody like that, somebody tall, and he didn't have enough time to get back to his right hand to get a shot. Plus, it was over a 7+ guy with his outstretched arm. So he already going left. His momentum's going left. He can't switch it. So what's in his bag? A daggone left-handed hook. A running hook. Y'all remember that from last year? Or was it year before last? This man threw a game-winner left-handed running hook. And wasn't nowhere near the rim. It was 1 step in front of the free throw line. Left-handed hook. That's called bag. You might need to dribble out of some trouble or some danger. You might get caught up in the corner. I remember Kyrie got caught up in the corner, and he still had a dribble that he ain't used yet, but he was pivoting and he was right there in the corner. And somehow, with just a triple threat and pivoting, he got his way out of a corner where he was almost trapped and turned that into 2 points. There's nothing wrong with having a bag. Don't try to act like a bag is horrible. They out here laughing at bag. I mean, they talked about it on ESPN and Fox. Chris Broussard was just clowning people with bags. Kevin Durant got a bag, but he don't affect winning like LeBron. You really think LeBron affect winning the way he think? Yeah, I mean, like, seriously, LeBron don't affect winning. He affects bringing help in superstar form. That man really tricked these dudes, or he really paying good.
Leading scorer all time in the NBA, no bag.
That
proves the point.
Yes, just play the game the right way, and I hope that our generation, our younger generation, don't get swamped by saying, okay, I need a bag, I need a bag, I need a bag. Like,
but that's the biggest point, and I'd love to hear your perspective on this. But like, all the time you're doing this that you're never ever going to use as the levels go up. If you can just make open shots, space the floor.
That's a damn lie. You are going to use this shit. You just don't have to. You use it when it comes up. Don't discourage people from working on their freaking game. Everybody is not 6'6", 270 that runs like a point guard. Everybody is not there. Everybody's not 6'8". Steve Nash, you should know this, you idiot. You a 6'1" guard the funny part about this is the people who's discouraging bag, they both have bag. Luka and Steve Nash have bags. Like they literally have bags. And they sitting up on his podcast helping this dude destroy everybody's image of a player who got a bag. Golly, boy, this is insane.
Yeah.
Play smart, like you can go up a level.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, like he said,
Yeah.
I don't have nothing more to add.
That man said, yeah, like he said, I ain't got nothing else to add. You heard, you noticed Luke ain't say nothing. He said, I ain't got nothing else to add. I'm not about to, like, this is a stupid conversation. Are you serious? And then he go say, I mean, I never heard of bag before I came to America. Idiot, English is your second language. Of course they don't talk like that over there. Nobody says bag over there in Slovenia. That's slang. If I go over to Slovenia and I say I've never heard this slang before, that don't mean what you're talking about is invalid. You can't invalidate bad work by saying Luke ain't never heard of it before he came to America. That is like, these people really think is idiots watching, and it might be. It really might be. They're on Luka Vandross on that Game to Mind podcast, dancing with his father, LeBron. Insane. I'm gonna open the phone lines up in a minute, y'all. Then Luka started talking about how easy it is to score in the NBA and why. He said this before on JJ Reddick's podcast like 4 years ago. Same thing Jokic said, same thing Giannis said, same thing Porzingis said. They all said it's easier to score over here. And he mentioned a couple of reasons why.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing, right?
But it's true, yeah.
But the thing is, like, you know, you guys are creators. You know, in the way the game's played today, we put shooters on the floor to create space for the creator.
Exactly.
Mhm.
They make you better by creating space.
Oh yeah, I forgot this last part. This is Nash and LeBron validating LeBron's play style again.
You make them better by being a creator. The minute one of them starts doing this, they're going out of the game.
Yeah.
Right. So it's interesting the way we perceive, or we allow our kids to perceive that. I don't know why that has been able to have a louder voice than coaching, than fundamentals, than team play.
Right.
You know.
He said that the way we play now is we space the floor, which is what D'Antoni did for Nash. Q Richardson, Joe Johnson. Joe Johnson that year he played in Phoenix led the league in 3-point makes, and Q Richardson led the league in 3-point percentage. Then you got Steve Nash. Then you got Amari Stoudemire setting the screens for Steve Nash. So Amari Stoudemire was setting the screens. Steve Nash coming off the screen. Amari Stoudemire rolling. It was either Lob City or some bounce pocket pass for Amari Stoudemire dunk. That screen and roll with Nash and Amari was killer, right? And then when you tried to stop the roll, you got Q Richardson or Joe Johnson or Sean Marion. All three of them was hitting the threes like nobody's business, right? Joe Johnson was a number one in Atlanta. I mean, he left Phoenix because he knew he could do more. It was the same situation with Brunson playing with Luka. I can't like no who knew Joe Johnson could do more than just shoot threes, because he shot the three really well. But we didn't never see Joe Johnson get the ball and be able to get in his bag. And you hear Steve Nash explain why. He said, y'all both are creators. Today's game, we just spread the floor with a lot of spacing, and the one guy is creating for everyone. And what did he say? He said, if one of those other guys try to dribble and do this, they're out of the game. This is why people like Michael Porter Jr., people think that he can't play. All he can do is shoot. This is why people think Jamal Murray can't do much, because they're playing in that system, spread the floor. One player is going to create for everyone. Spread the floor, one player is going to create for everyone. But when Brunson leave that system and go away from Luka and leave that system, he turns into an immediate all-star. When Joe Johnson leaves that system and goes to Atlanta, he turned into an immediate all-star. And we was like, dang, man, he got a whole bunch in his bag. He one of the best scorers in the league. You would have never knew it playing with Steve Nash. You would have never knew it playing with Steve Nash. Sean Marion left and went to Dallas, championship.
But, you know, I think in Europe, like watching EuroLeague now, watching EuroLeague before, it just like it's more about the team, you know, team-wise, teamwork. But it's different rules in NBA. I always said that. When I said it's easier to score in NBA, is because it's just different rules. You have a lot of more spacing. You have more minutes. It's 8 more minutes. Anything happen in 8 minutes. So it's just because of that. Like in Europe, you get a big guy like, for example, like Eddie Tavares. He plays in Madrid. He's just standing in the paint. Like he can stand in the paint. He's 220.
Right.
It's hard to score. Like it's impossible. Here you can't do that because it's 3-second violation.
Yeah. Again, I mean, the NBA is trying to make it as entertaining as possible too, right? So the game's slightly different than in Europe, where it's still maybe the roots of the game are still there. But it is like it's an interesting point to think about.
This man said it's easier to score than NBA. He said a couple of reasons why. One, I mean, you go score more points because it's more minutes. It's 48 minutes, right? But also he said the spacing is unreal. Like over in Europe, the spacing is not there. This is how the NBA used to be in the 90s and the early 2000s. A big man was always down low on offense and defense. Shaq didn't leave the paint unless he was setting the screen for somebody, but he needed to be down low in that paint. So did Barkley, so did David Robinson, so did Chris Webber, so did Rasheed Wallace, so did Sabonis, so did Rick Smits, so did Patrick Ewing, so did Akeem Olajuwon. Like them dudes lived in the paint. So all that spacing and that dribble drive that you think you're going to have, you're not going to have it. And when you got more spacing, maybe you don't need a bag. Maybe you just need to be a road runner. Just run. Hey, it's all types of space, so I can just run full speed to the rim. And it's so much space that when you come to double to help, if I'm beating my man off the dribble and you come to help, it's a guy wide open for a 3. That's the simplest, easiest game. The floor spread, give it to the fastest player with the ball, let him run full speed at the rim. And if you double, he's just going to make a pass and there's a 3. And there's an assist. And you just keep doing that for 4 quarters. Just keep doing it, just keep doing it, keep doing it. That's what the NBA game is. And he said in Europe, they're still utilizing big men. There's no 3 in the key on defense. We added defensive 3 seconds so there will be more points and more layups and more dunks. Like they Adam Silver and David Stern ruined the game for entertainment. Steve Nash just said it. He said, we want more entertaining basketball, more entertainment. And he said Europe still got the roots of basketball in their basketball. Like, how do you even admit that and not talk about it? You admitting that what the purest form of basketball is supposed to be a certain way, and they're still doing it in Europe, but we're not doing it here in America. But you're trying to blame the downfall of American basketball on AAU, high school, and trainers teaching bag work. But you're not going to mention anything about the rule changes that made the NBA a more entertaining sport for people that don't like basketball. Because people that like basketball, they didn't mind post play and mid range and low scoring games, in a game where there was only 2 or 3 dunks in it. They didn't mind it. That's almost like reducing football and taking out so much of football, and then let's say, oh man, we can't kick off the ball no more. Everything got to be an onside kick because that's more exciting. And like every player's like, oh shoot, man, they go. It's only like you have to do an onside kick every time you kick it. Imagine that. Or let's just say, oh man, we go put a new rule in where you can't have a safety. Now we got more over the top passes and people utilizing their speed because you can't have a safety on the field anymore. That's basically what they said. You can't put a big man in the paint to prevent scoring or discourage smaller players from coming in the paint off the drive. We're going to put a 3 seconds in a defensive 3 seconds. That way, we're going to make sure the big man is not standing in front of the rim because that'll drive scoring up. Same way in football. If you take away the safety, if you put a rule in there that the safety cannot stand 10 yards back, they can only be 5 yards back. That's the new rule. You will have more over the top plays. You'll see more Randy Moss plays. That's what the NBA did. And Steve Nash just mentioned it and just skated right past it. All right, let's get the phone lines open, man. I wish Young Disciple was in here, man. Now that his king has said what efficiency is, I would love to hear what he got to say. But I guess he won't see this tonight. But yeah. Caller from Atlanta, what's up?
Man, what's going on, man? Man, I had to call in on this one, bro. I remember last month when I called you, I said, bro, Mind the Game is a TV show where LeBron James vents about his shortcomings. So the thing that kills me is if LeBron had this, with the bag, you either got it or you don't. All his peers got it. Melo, D Wade, Chris Bosh, all these dudes got it. He don't. And it's like with LeBron James, all you could, like the simple thing to just say is, look, man, I got 40,000 points and I ain't have no bag and just leave it at that. But no, man, he got to put his foot in his mouth. He got to downplay his peers. He got to downplay players. He don't even play like, and then he finally makes the point that you was making last week on the show. So it's just funny to me, man.
Ain't it funny how stuff come back full circle like that? Like this,
Yeah.
like this dude act like I was speaking a foreign language when I said efficiency is best measured by how you get into your spots, how many dribbles you're using, how many screens, how many seconds, and all of that. It's just not field goal percentage. Oh man, I ain't never heard nobody in the basketball community say that. Now his king saying it, man. I just wish I could hear what he say about it though. Like, where is he, man? He always in the comment section, but he ain't on this one.
Man, I don't know, man. Hey, Young, you got to tap in, dude. But no, man, like even with this whole situation, it's just like we blaming the AAU culture on, like, I get it, man. Like some of these kids, they're not learning the fundamentals. They just want to go straight to the bag. Now that when you like, if you break it down like that, I understand the argument. But when you sit up here and you try to make it seem like it's basically like the way he's talking. Oh, forget the bag, man. Y'all just need to be role players, and that's how guys who play like him play. One guy makes it happen. He's over it, and everyone else is just reduced to a role player. And then when they mess up, it's their fault. And it's frustrating basketball to me, man. Like it's sad at this point. That's why I say, man, LeBron got to go. Him, Curry, KD, y'all dudes got to go, man. Because like the basketball, we're entering a new renaissance, man. And the old guard, I'm like, it's frustrating that these guys don't know how to just walk away. Like, just walk away when you still got your pride and your dignity, man. You dudes just won a gold medal. Why not walk out after then, man?
Oh, that would have been perfect. But because they thought that the NBA was gonna aid and embed them all the way back to a deep playoff run, they really think the NBA is gonna waste their time trying to promote them another 4 years. Like they really no. Once they stop promoting you, it's a wrap. They tried to let you go out on top. They let Steph Curry get a ring in 2022, right? They trying to help you go out on top, but you keep overstaying your welcome. Like Steph should have got that ring in 2022 and walked away, or at least got the ring in 2022 and then said, all right, y'all, it's okay to go ahead and break us up. Or I wouldn't even say that, because if you just won it, maybe you gotta defend your title. So I understand them coming back after that year, but after they got mopped in the playoffs that year, they screwed up the Jordan Poole situation. He's gone. The locker room jacked up. You can't repair that. You don't go in there and extend Draymond Green with all the money in the world. You can't even afford to sign Clay. You bring in Chris Paul with a contract that Clay probably would have accepted, because you wanted to get rid of Poole that bad. Like, that whole situation is so jacked up. They just need to give up, and they keep putting Band-Aid on this bullet wound. Now they got Jimmy Butler in there. Jimmy Butler makes us so much better. I think not. They look horrible now. You get what I'm saying? Like, let that junk go, man. Get rid of Draymond.
Yeah.
Let Butler go. Tell Curry it was fun while it lasted. You getting paid a buku amount of money. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You're gonna ride off into the sunset with your 4 rings, but I'm not gonna keep spending and overspending and put talent around you, and you're 1,000 years old. Get the hell up out of here.
Yeah, man. And this is what I gotta say. Like, I said this a couple weeks too, man. Like, Reggie Miller in Indiana, when they lose to the Lakers in 2000, they don't sit up here and say, hey, man, let me go ahead and pay the Davis boys and all these guys. No, we got them out for fresh talent. You bring in J.O., you bring in Ron Artest, you bring in all these guys.
Absolutely.
And Golden State had it. They had it.
They had it.
That's the crazy thing about it, is that Bob Myers set them up for the future so great. And it's sad because the Golden State veterans, when Curry and them were in their prime, they understood, hey, let my young guys get their bag, and we going to win that way. And, man, Curry, obviously, if Curry was just more vocal and told Draymond to stand down, who knows, man? Curry might just have more rings, and he's not even, and he letting Jordan Poole, do the damn thing. And then, when we need that moment from Steph, like what we saw in the Olympics, then we gonna go get it. But yeah, man.
Before I let you go, though, we got to stop overhyping what we've seen from Steph in the Olympics, because they played about 8 games. We didn't see good Steph but the last 2 games.
Hey, I hear that.
It took him forever to show up. And that's what age gets you. You can't just show up every time like you want to. Steph Curry was nowhere to be found and was playing horrible basketball. He should have been benched. I understand that he's the best shooter out there, so you just can't bench him because you never know when he go pop off. I get that part. But he was not playing phenomenal basketball, and his coach was not going to bench him. He should have been.
Yeah, he wasn't.
He ain't had no problem benching KD. KD came off the bench.
Yep.
So, that's just my thoughts, man. Thanks for the call, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man.
All right. T-Bird, hit me back, man. T-Bird, call back. Caller from Texas. Who's speaking?
It's Funky Town. You know me.
What's up, Alec?
A public service announcement. Brother, you are a menace to society. You've been up here cooking. You've been cooking on this same thing for over an hour. Good Lord, man, I'm not gonna get no sleep tonight. It's gonna be down near 4:00 in the morning on Eastern Standard Time. Good Lord, man.
Hey, but
you all over it though. I'm gonna say it like
what's efficiency, big dog? What's efficiency?
We knew it from the beginning. We knew that. It was what was being stated from the beginning. Everybody getting the shiny object. Percentages. Okay, look, if you want to kind of factor that, that's fine, but that is not efficiency, or I should say that's not everything in efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
That might be part of an indication, but like you said, the whole when you say okay, this is the be all field goal. Well, okay, so now let's break down from what spot what your percentages look like. Because now if you want to use that. I'll go along a little bit farther with what you're talking about with shots. From this spot, you're this. From this spot, you're horrible. Right?
Yeah.
From inside of 3 feet, you're awesome. Like DeAndre Jordan. All those, yeah, great. Awesome. Okay. Tyler, whoever. Chandler, you're great there. Go outside to the elbow, what's your percentage? Now what's your percentage when somebody's in your face? Now what's somebody, you get what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's like again, I know that's what you're saying. I'm just reiterating. Like if you're gonna play that game, let's do it from the spots. Let's go from the spots and see how efficient you are from according to you from each of these spots. But if you're gonna say you're gonna take the totality like you do your points, okay, is it that efficient?
It's absolutely not. It's absolutely not efficiency.
Not.
It's not. It's field goal percentage.
It's not efficiency.
It's field goal percentage. And it's a whole. It's a whole story behind it. It's a whole story behind your field goal percentage.
That's not being told.
Yeah.
And see, but here's my thing about and the last caller was spot on when it comes to that podcast. And I love how you reframed the name.
Shout out to Apex Jones.
Whoever said it. Yes, shout out, because that is absolutely what it is. It's mind games. Like it is literally mind games because this dude is out of the playoff. He's trying to stay relevant and he's trying to rewrite history.
Exactly what.
And then you got this the whole thing. See, I don't like Nash. I don't like him. I've never liked him. All right, because he's manufactured. And a lot of people don't know the story behind D'Antoni. See, that's D'Antoni ball ain't ever been successful. Not when it comes down to
playoffs.
Actually playoffs.
Yeah.
Like when it really counts. It's never been successful. Right? And but the owner, Colangelo of the Phoenix Suns, when they traded for Nash, right? He was part of the competition committee that changed the rules that allowed for the stuff that they started doing with that D'Antoni ball.
Mm.
You see? And so for me, you know what I'm saying? Like I shouldn't say I dislike him, but what he's being disingenuous. But because you're absolutely correct. He had a bag. Absolutely. He actually had a bag. He had moves inside and outside. Okay? And that's the thing about LaFleur, for me, that I can't stand. And he gonna sit up here and talk about the young people in AAU. Motherfucker, you the reason why this shit is the way it's at. The way where they act like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All
he got to do is just admit, I don't have a bag, but it don't matter. And we'll all agree. Right. It don't matter. Look, he's still a great player.
At least I have respect for you.
Yeah.
At least I have you at least say, yeah, okay. I'm sorry, but I'm sorry with 40,000 points.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? But Luka up here talking about they don't say that. Like you said, yeah, they don't call it a bag because they don't have our swag. They call it techers. It comes from soccer technique. So if you ever watch how what you can do with the dribbling, how they can dribble the ball, how they call it top bends. If you can hit up in the upper 90 corners. Right, you shoot the ball up in things like that. Well, see, basketball is the same thing.
Yeah,
those people, yes, and like you said, the old head told you, like, hey, you're wasting your movements. First off, you're wasting your movements, and you're showing this person what you can do. You're showing them too much at the wrong time. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you don't show them. You don't show them until you need to show them. That's what comes with understanding. But that's when you know your bag is deep.
Yeah, your bag is deep
when you ever see that movie with was it Tupac when he shot that kid? Somebody shot a kid. It was a movie, like on the playground, and this young kid got on there like smooth as all get out and just dribbling through a phone booth, just went through the jokers, and the young drug dealer gets mad and he shoots him because he made him look stupid. But the thing was, old boy wasn't even trying. Because his bag was that deep. I'm not, talking about the violent part. I'm just talking about the kid had the ability. Whenever you made that move, and you thought you had an answer for that one, he had another one for that one, which is that Kobe stuff. Kobe had answers for it. Whatever you try to do, he studied. He had the cheat sheet. Whenever you make the response, he had a move for that.
Correct.
And when he got to that move, he had 2 or 3 things he could do from that point.
Correct.
He had, and he knew which way to do it, and that's the thing. When you say your bag is what's in your rucksack. You ain't gonna pull everything out at the same time. You ain't got to use what you need.
So we understand what they're trying to describe. We understand that you don't need to use much. You can be much more efficient with 1 dribble pull-ups, 2 dribble pull-ups, working in the post,
Until
all
you
that
try to
stuff.
stop it.
Right. We get that, but there's that you have to enhance your game, especially if you're a ball handler and you're a wing player. They trying to use Shaq as a. I heard Chris Broussard on ESPN this morning, or not ESPN, but Fox trying to use Shaq as a example. Of course, if you playing 2 feet away from the rim and you 7 foot and 380 pounds, no, you don't need no bag. You playing with force. We get that.
But see, did you know he had a bag? That's the thing. That's the thing. Shaq actually had a bag.
For a big man, sure.
That's what for a big. I mean, but for a big man, he didn't have a bag for a guard.
Yeah,
he had a bag for a big man.
Yeah, you use what
I saw that joker.
You
Especially
use,
when he was young, he could run up and down the court like you
of
wouldn't
course.
believe.
Yeah, but you use you play to your advantages. And
Right.
if I'm a small guy like Steve Kerr, I don't have any advantage other than shooting and bag work.
Right.
That's it. That's my only bag. If you're LeBron, your strength is going to be your speed, your power, your agility, your leaping ability. So
and how he hides his deficiency is he bangs the air, he bounces the air out of the ball, and he controls what happens. And like you said, I think the caller said, you make everybody else a role player.
Pretty much, that's exactly what we do. Even superstars, man. But hey, let me get some more callers in here. I had
you got it, brother.
I had T-Bird trying to get in here. T-Bird, you up, big dog? All right, thanks, Funky Sound.
All right, man. Have a good one, man.
All right, you too. Hey, T-Bird, you up? T-Bird, that's you?
Yeah, it's me.
What's good, brother? What's your thoughts?
Oh, what's going on? All right. I think you dead on with your efficiency, and you gave your example of when you was on the court, dead on. But I'm gonna take it on another way, because you took all the meat off the bone on that one. When I heard, first of all, let me start by saying this. I've never watched that show. I never will. And here's a prime example of why. They're not moving the goalposts. They're changing what a goalpost is. They're lying and deceiving all of their brainwashed viewers, okay? So let me start with saying this. They're making it seem like that a bag is only dribbling, and that's it. And it's not. And I took my time. Now, I still run ball 3 days a week, too. And I got a 19-year-old son. We be on that court cooking, right? So I took my time when I heard this topic come up, and I wrote down my definition of what a bag is. And here it goes. It's a little lengthy. Skills, techniques, counters, or moves that a player possesses. Also, it's a move or a series of moves that confuses a defender or creates space, which makes you harder to defend, and it generates opportunities for the offensive player to create or score easier. That's what a bag is. It's not just dribbling, right? And I laid out 3 examples of people with bags without dribbling and people with bags with dribbling. First one, Tim Duncan. No dribbling. Deep, one of the deepest bags you'll ever see. Counter to him is Kyrie. Maybe the deepest bag with a lot of dribbling, right? Both very efficient and effective. Next example, Hakeem Olajuwon. Ridiculous deep bag, not a lot of dribbling. His counter, Kobe. I don't have to talk about Kobe. Everybody know. Yep. Last example, Paul George. Super deep bag. His counter, Kevin McHale. Might be the biggest bag out of the centers that I named. Because your bag can be your footwork that creates space, and it makes you harder to defend, and it creates opportunities for you to score or create. They're making it just seem like it's just dribbling is a bag. That's not it. And LeBron is doing that because he has no bag.
Correct.
Zero bag at all. And like what me and you discussed yesterday about Greek Freak. All right, I'm a fan of his heart and everything and his effort and his old school mentality, but he's just a 7-foot LeBron to me. He has no bag. right?
Yep.
So this is what LeBron is trying to deceive and lie to all the viewers about. He's lying. Don't buy the BS. A bag is not just dribbling. And I'm gonna conclude with this. To prove that it's not just dribbling, I'll recap. Duncan, Hakeem, and Kevin McHale. 3 of the biggest bags without almost no dribbling that you ever seen. LeBron doesn't have a bag at all.
There you go. That's facts, man. I look, and ain't even nothing I can add to that because every example I would have used as far as a player, those are the examples I would have used, especially the big men, Hakeem, Tim Duncan, and Kevin McHale. I would have used all 3 of them dudes to describe it. But you're right. Your footwork, what you do in the triple threat without dribbling. You know what I mean? Like if Kobe get the ball on the wing, and he just tripled that, and he just jab step you and jab just to create space, pump fake, and then one dribble step back. That's bag work. Like how can I score in the phone booth, right? And you have to have a bag to score in the phone booth. And when you're playing in the 90s and early 2000s, you're pretty much in the phone booth because there's no spacing like it is now. So what?
Absolutely, you hit that on the head, because in the phone booth, like, all right, I'm like your height, your size. I'm like 5'10", right? So when we're in a phone booth with somebody 6 feet tall, what do we have to do? Create space.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a bag, and that entails skills, techniques, and counters that a player possesses. That was my opening of the definition. So, like, and then like I was watching Gilbert Arenas, right? I was shocked. Gilbert actually said LeBron didn't have a bag, but he went last. The other 4 people on the panel, they were terrified to say that LeBron didn't have a bag. Like so now what we're going to see tomorrow.
I hate Kenyon on that show and Brendan because they just cater to who is popular, and they don't want to hurt no feelings, and they just all up their front twerking and popping penis out there. It just pisses me off, man. My bad. Go ahead.
No, you good. It's absolutely crazy. And I was the most shocked with Brandon Jennings because he had a bag. I was shocked with Cheryl Swoops because she had a bag. All right, Kenyon didn't have no bag. All right, I get it. But Gil, you had a bag. Gil, the only one that said LeBron doesn't have a bag. But then he had to, kiss up to LeBron right after that.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, what I just wanted all of your viewers and anybody listening that a bag is just not dribbling. And that's what Gilbert Arenas and LeBron show was strictly talking about: dribble, 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 dribble. And that's not just a bag. Like, stop it. And last thing, Mel. So when you get older, like I'm older now, so I'll still be killing on the court, but you know what I noticed with my age? I'm very, very, very slow, right? Compared to what I used to be. I can't jump over a phone book no more. But somehow I can still score 60% of the points. You know how? Because I had to develop a low post bag.
Exactly. But you must be playing in a different place, man. Because I last time I played, I had a mouse in the house and went in the post. And them dudes didn't even know how to, like, they was like, they were looking at me like, what the hell are you doing down there? Like, they didn't even want to throw the ball to me down there. Like, what the hell are y'all, how do y'all play? And they end up shooting threes, contested threes. It's horrible out there. I'm telling these young boys, it's horrible out there, man. It's hard.
They laugh at me, Mel, when I hit them with the, put them in a post, fake one way, and then jump hook them. Like, they be like, "Oh, gee, what was that?" It's a bucket. Like, it's a bucket that you can't block and you can't stop. You know what I mean? With the footwork behind it, it's called a bag.
That's a fact, man. Thanks, T-Bird, man. Thanks for gracing us with your presence again, man. 2 nights in a row.
I got you. All right, talk to you.
All right, good luck. Thanks.
All right.
All right, we get one more call in here. Hold on. I got like 5 calls coming in. Hold on. Who I got on the line?
You were from Atlanta.
Okay, can y'all hear Atlanta? Say yes if y'all can hear him. I think I got him. Go ahead. What's your thoughts?
I just wanted to add to what the last caller was saying about the bag. And I would have to say he left out one person, and that would be Kareem.
Okay.
Kareem, to me, when it comes to the bag conversation, and Mikhail and the other people y'all name are definitely in this conversation. But Kareem took Andrew Bynum and gave him steps in the paint to master, like we watching the old Chinese movie. You know what I mean? And once he learned those steps, that gave him the ability to help Kobe get his last 2 rings.
I give you that. I give you that. But just because I feel like being funny though, did you see that 1-on-1 Dr. J and Kareem at the All-Star weekend?
I have not. No.
Yeah, look that up and then tell me if Kareem got a bag or not.
Hold on, hear me out though. But it also applies to Kevin McHale, because he wasn't playing anymore. But I firmly believe he took Kevin Garnett under his wing and showed him everything he had.
Oh yeah, he did. He did. Yeah. That's well documented. He definitely did.
Yeah, and Kareem did the same for Bynum. And it's no question LeBron doesn't have a bag. Karl Malone had more of a bag than LeBron James. Yep. And that you laughing because you know I ain't saying
no, Karl Malone didn't have more of a bag. Karl Malone had more shooting touch than LeBron. I say that. He didn't have more of a bag than LeBron though. I mean, come on, LeBron's a wing player. He plays the wing pretty good. So I wouldn't go that far.
That's why I said I ain't saying much. Because we talk about Karl Malone. Yeah. His best move was giving somebody an elbow to the back of the head.
Yeah. I mean, his elbow jumper was deadly though.
And them knees in the lane. I met Matt Harper and I asked him. I said, "Dude, how was it in practice when he coming in the lane with them knees?" He said, "Get out the way." You learn that early. But this is all good.
All right, man. Thanks for the call.
Man, I'm gonna call back and chop it up.
All right. Yep. Caller, what's good?
Yeah, I'm disappointed in you, man.
Oh yeah? What about?
But what I think that I heard T Bird call, right? I don't know how far y'all removed from the youth. I know you watch a lot of basketball, so I expect you to know better than this. And you just told on yourself when you said it. What Bro and them is referring to is they was talking about the youth and coming up in the AAU circuit in a bag, right?
Mm-hmm.
They basically talking about the importance of it. You got kids, and I'm talking about my little nephew and them. I go to the game. You got kids that can do a James Harden step back, shoot a 3, but did exactly what you said. They can't run 3 in one fast break. They cannot throw post passes. And high school, the center is way taller than the next man. I think that's what they referring to. You can have a bag, yeah. But the fundamentals need to be in order first. So I agree with both what y'all saying now. But that's the part that we're missing about. They was talking about how Luka and them do fundamentals first. And that people say Luka got a bag. I would kind of disagree with that. But, I think they saying the fundamentals is what need to be the focus. Because the conversation was about the youth.
Yeah, so Nino, I think you missed the part about when I explained how all of this is strategic for LeBron. And the main topic is what you see and what they're presenting to you. But the underlining of what LeBron and Steve Nash is saying is not about the main topic. It's about how can I free LeBron from a narrative that we don't want him to have attached to his name. So he did all of that presenting the bag work and the fundamentals just so he can say that people say he don't have a bag, but you don't need one. So you went for the smoke and mirrors. What he's really trying to talk about is that how it's okay for LeBron not to have a bag, and he's explaining why. That's all it was.
But
The conversation is not really about AAU and fundamentals. LeBron can care less if they do fundamentals, because his game is based on spread the floor, and the more the floor is spread, the less fundamentals you really need. You're just running full speed into a wide open lane. You ain't even got to stop at the mid range to do nothing. You can get all the way to the rim. All LeBron, the layup package that LeBron had in high school is all he has been working with his whole career. Shoot the three because they backing off me, or I'm getting all the way to the rim and using the layup package I had when I had that green Irish number 23 on in high school. Nothing has changed. I use my athleticism. He used his athleticism for 23 years, speed, power, athleticism for 23 years.
But that goes to the point, which you could be right. I can't say you wrong about the point, but the point still is the point. I'll give you a perfect example, and you might disagree. You might not. Wemby. I wish he didn't try to use his bag as much. I wish he would go, hey, I got, like you said, I got the bag. But I'm finna go down here. I don't know who he need to study. I wouldn't know.
Absolutely.
Maybe Hakeem.
Ralph Sampson.
But at least go down there, turn around. I don't give a damn if you miss it. My bad, cousin. I don't care if you miss it. Turn around, dude.
I agree 100%.
And
I agree 100%. It's frustrating.
Let's do that.
Yeah. I agree 100%.
Let's do that.
Yeah, but I just need you to know that it's smoke and mirrors with this LeBron and this podcast. It's all smoke and mirrors. You can't go for the main topic. That's not really the target. The target is, I need to free LeBron from a bad narrative. Every single time. Every episode, they figured out a way to try to change people's mind about something that LeBron has attached to him.
He just uses himself as an example. I think Bron, how can people say Bron got a bag? But see, that's what I'm saying. You let people break it down and there don't be no context. You can say Bron don't have a bag compared to Kyrie, but then it's going to be a lot of people left out. You got people in the comments, I don't know if they trolling or not. They going to say Karl Malone, Kareem, David Ross, and all this. Well, if these folks got bad, then I got a bag. Now, James Harden got one of the biggest bags for offense it is. But how many players can actually play the game like that? So I didn't hear you, but I missed that point when you were saying about smoking mirrors. So I can't, knowing Bron, I can't put that in that page.
Yeah, it's all smoke and mirrors. And LeBron has an average bag for a wing player. It might be average. It might be average at best. But this is after 22 years of being a professional, right? Your bag is still developing. That's not good, right? So if LeBron had to beat somebody one-on-one who was a good defender and had the size to guard him, he don't really have nothing that guy, right?
Okay,
and he has to call for a screen to get an advantage. MJ didn't call for screens that often. Right. Once he get the ball, whoever is on him, he got something for him. That's what is important about a bag. I remember when Anthony Mason played for Charlotte, and I don't know if they had Glenn Rice on that team. It might have been Glenn Rice. They might have had maybe Hershey Hawkins. I got to remember who was on that squad, but they tried 3 different size of defenders on Michael Jordan. Right. When he was too quick for them, I think they put BJ Armstrong on when he was playing for Charlotte. They put BJ on him, right? And okay, you got a quick guy on me. You know what he did to BJ? Took him right to the post, right? Then they put Anthony Mason on him because he was posting up so much. You know what he did with Mason? Took him right out to the paint. I mean, right to the perimeter, right? That's what a bag does. Now, what happened with Siakam when they put a smaller player on him? In this series against OKC, what did Siakam do? He still tried to beat him out the dribble. He went to the post a little bit. He wasn't
It wasn't effective enough.
but SGA is hell of effective in the post. You get what I'm saying? Because he got something down there. That turnaround fadeaway is bag work, right? So I can what did Anthony Edwards do when he couldn't beat his man out the dribble? He kept trying to beat his man out the dribble.
Kept trying. But this is what I'm giving you, man. I agree with 1,000% everything you said. But what I'm thinking is a lot of people doing. You might be falling prisoner to this though. And I'm a Bron. I like Bron game. I've been following Bron since 03, 02. And I will concur to up until the Dallas series, the bad was very limited.
Mm-hmm.
But the next series, he took KD to the post. And the Spurs series they won, he was hitting mid-range and three-pointer. Now, I will say this, and I'll give you your famous point. Well, I know you love SGA game, and you ain't even told me this, but I know you love it. The main thing that Bron missing out his bag, I would trade that passing because I like Bron a great passer. I would trade that passing for a great mid-range. That's what the bag, to me, that's the most important. I agree, that's one of the most important things included in the bag. And Bron is below average to me at that. He don't take enough. Yeah. And I will give you that point.
Of
then
course.
you stretch that to the people.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I can't disagree with too much you're saying, man. But I just throw that out there about the kids, man. And you just told it. And you ain't lying. Because I go to my nephew game, man. 3-on-1. They stop and shoot threes.
I hate it.
Post man, the bigger man on the court got his hand up like post. And they can't get the ball into it, man. And it's rough.
They would hate me in AAU because I would not coach that way. I would not coach that way.
We need you to get it. We need you to get back into coaching, man.
I just might.
I'm gonna let you go, man. But hey, you need to get back into it. That shit missing. Fundamental missing bad.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Thanks, Nino.
All right, man.
Yep. All right, that's the last call we'll take. We'll move on. We still got 2 topics, y'all. So let me get this out the way. So I did was it yesterday? Yesterday I did a MVP recap. I'm gonna take one more call. Caller from New York.
Hello?
What's up?
What's up, my boy?
Good. What's up, man? You got about 1 minute.
I called you guys on Friday. I was the number 2 caller on Friday, right? Try to tell you, man, this guy has no games, and now he came up with a new shit now, telling about 1-2 dribble. Boy don't have that. He got no jump shot. He don't have no game though. You know, he bumbles for like all the time he was in the East, going to the finals in a week old conference, thinking that he's good. No, he's not. Like Jimmy Butler went to 2 finals, bro. Kawhi won the final with Toronto with Kayla as the second best player. He bumped since he came to the West, bro. The only time he crashed, like he went to the final, that was like COVID. Like he bumbled the whole NBA, the whole world, playing a weak ass conference with a bunch of old heads. And then when he moved to the West Coast, he haven't done anything. But y'all keep trying to put him in like top 4, top 5, top 10. No, he has no game for no top 10 though. he's like a Shaq and he's like a Shaq Giannis with a little bit of jump shot.
I hear you.
Like, come on, man. Like I'm tired of people keep letting this dude like come on TV or whatever podcast he got and just lying and all that, because people started saying to him right now. Like people say, oh yeah, he not good. Now he try to come up with something else, like try to like bind us more. No, bro, you don't have any games though. You feel like a freaking running back. You pull people around, and that's it. You could I mean, the bag is like 1-2 dribble and pull up, but you don't have that.
That's true.
You never had it.
That's true.
Come on.
That's true. I mean, I can.
If you had it, bro.
Yeah, you're right.
If you had it, you would have beat the Spurs.
Definitely would. Yeah, definitely would have helped to
yo.
get. Yeah, it would have helped with that. But
Come on now.
you're right. I ain't got nothing to add to it. I mean, I was kind of shocked when he was talking about dribble pull up and and efficiency and all that. So I was shocked when he said that because I was like, man, yeah,
You ain't got it.
He ain't got it. You right.
Hey, come on, bro. Like, how you gonna say 1-2 dribble pull up? But you don't have it, sir.
Yeah, that's a fact. But thanks for the call, man. I'm gonna move to the next topic. I'm gonna have to end this.
All right, my boy.
All right, thanks, man.
All right. Yeah.
All right. So last night we was talking about the MVP race, and I had my my own little formula that I kind of came up with, and then I put together like a little chart, and I kind of did a recap of the MVP for this season, just to see what it would look like if I implemented my criteria based on who the final candidates was, the top 5 candidates was, and I came up with this, and based on my chart and my criteria, SGA was the player who I would consider in the highest regard for the award, right? And that was all based on my formula of taking the person who they named the trophy after, which is Michael Jordan, taking his first MVP season and looking at some of the key points that he was able to hit at a high level, and how I think people should be graded when they're up for the award. You don't have to meet all the wickets that he met, but you have to be operating at a high level of those things, right? And those things, I like to see my MVP play 82 games. I like to see my MVP score at a high clip. You know, MJ played 82. He scored 35 points that season. He averaged 3.2 steals and 1.6 blocks. He was the defensive player of the year. So do you have to win defensive player of the year? No, but if no one wins the defensive player of the year that's in the MVP candidate, then we'll go down to were you a candidate for defensive player of the year? And if that's a no, then did you make a first or second all team defense? If the answer is no, did you get any votes for all team defense? You know, and if none of those things are obvious, then I had to go off my observation on who I think was the better defender that year, on top of being a leader in points or somewhere close to it and playing a lot of games. You know, I look at all those things, and then I also look at how all of that affected your team success. What was your offensive team? What was your team offense rated at? What was your team defense rated at? And how many games did you win? So I factor all of that, and I come up with who I think the better candidate is based on all of that stuff. And when I did this year's MVP last night, I read the comments, and someone said, why don't you do the year that Embiid won it and see if he should have won it over Jokic? So I did. And this is what I came up with. Mind you, SGA was 5th in votes that year. He averaged 32 points that year, right? That's crazy. This man been averaging over 30 points for the last 3 years. But his team wasn't winning. So obviously he wouldn't be a serious candidate, right? He only had 40 wins. That's 42 losses, right? So obviously he would not be a candidate. I'm not the type of person that's going to go all the way down to the 5th and 6th seed trying to find an MVP, right? The NBA shouldn't be that desperate to find an MVP. You got to go all the way to the 5th, unsuccessful team sitting at the 6th seed or the 5th seed like you did for Westbrook and like you did for Jokic when he was in the 5th seed. Like come on now. Like chill on that. So SGA wasn't a top candidate for me. But let's look at everything. Fully qualified. Like I said, fully qualified are the players that are above average, good, great, or elite on both ends of the floor. Right. So to be fully qualified, you have to, because Michael Jordan was elite on offense as a scorer and elite as a defender. So my MVP candidate has to be elite as a scorer and elite as a defensive player. And if none of the candidates are elite as a defensive player, like I said, we step down. Are you great? Are you good? Are you above average? And I take, I factor in all of that and figure out which one is more qualified. From that, Giannis, Tatum, Embiid, SG are all fully qualified. Jokic, of course, no, because he's not a defensive high value player, right? So Jokic was the only candidate that was not fully qualified according to my criteria. 82 games. Did anybody get close? Not really. Tatum was the closest one with 74 games. So you see the green check go to Tatum. Oh, back to fully qualified. I think Giannis was the most qualified, because all of them are elite offensively. All right. So it's based on which one is going to be closer to elite defensively. And that year it was Giannis. None of them made any all defensive teams that year. None of them was a candidate for defensive player of the year. However, Giannis did have the most votes out of all the candidates to make a defensive team. He just was the first player outside of the first and second team. So if there was a third team, he would have been on it, right? The next one was Embiid, and then the next one after that was SGA. So Tatum and Jokic got 0 votes to make a all defensive team. So that's how I racked them and stacked them. So the most qualified out of the fully qualified individuals was Giannis. And then Tatum was the one who played the most games, but that was kind of close. SGA played 68, Jokic played 69. Giannis played the least amount of games at 63, and Embiid played 66, right? If it would have been this season, Giannis wouldn't have been eligible because he didn't play the minimum of 65 games. So that's interesting, right? So offensive value, Jokic easily. Well, I ain't gonna say easily. That was close as well. I just took how much points they produced based on how much points they scored and how much they assisted. And that year, Jokic averaged 25 points and 9.8 assists. I just rounded up to 10. All right. So not knowing if those 10 assists could be 2 points or 3 points, but I just took the least and took 2 points. That's 20 points. He averaged 25 points. So if you take the 10 assists, that's 20 more points. So that's 45 points altogether. And that was the highest of all of them. SGA was right behind him with 44. Giannis was with 43, Embiid 41, and 40 for Tatum, right? So Jokic gets the green check for the offensive value. What that offensive value led to for his team in Jokic's case was the number 7 overall rated offense. The number 1 rated offense that year was Tatum. The number 3 was Embiid. Number 5 was Giannis, right? Defensive value. They all had defensive value at a high clip except Jokic, right? That defensive value for Tatum led to a number 3 rated defense, a number 4 rated defense for Giannis, number 10 for Embiid, and SGA and with 13 and 15 for Jokic. And that games won, you can see that check goes to Giannis. So by my estimation, if I did all this over again in 2023, just based on this, because there was a couple of wild things that Embiid did during the season, they kind of put him at the top of the ladder for the MVP ladder, and that was a head-to-head matchup with Jokic that he destroyed him in. He got the scoring title, and he had a bunch of 30 and 40 point games. Huge blocks. He was all over the place defensively. So during the season, there was a different feel than if you just take a step back and just start crunching, the data, kind of seeing where he fell. But without the feel of the season, my vote would have been to either Tatum or Giannis that year and not Embiid. Very interesting. I mean, Giannis had the best record in the league. Tatum had the second best. 58 games, 57 games, right? Embiid had 54 games. Out of all the candidates, his team had the third best record, but I don't think all of this was enough for me to not vote for Tatum or Giannis. So this MVP, in my opinion, didn't belong to Embiid or Jokic. Which is interesting. It's real interesting. But I had Tatum high on my ladder that year anyway. But I had Embiid 1 and Tatum 2. But with this formula, I think Tatum would have got my vote. Tatum would have got my vote. So I just thought that was interesting. Somebody asked me to do it, so I did it. Let me know another year that we should do. Put another year that y'all want me to look at like that. Maybe I do last year's and see if Jokic should have got it over SGA last year. 2006. I do 2006. Who got it that year? Who got it in the 06? 09. That sound like good years. Okay. 06, 09. Kobe's MVP. Okay, all right, bet. Or Nash's. I got some super chats too. Nick T said, "What was Kyrie's? What was Kyrie bag in the finals last year?" But that don't even make sense. I don't even know how to answer that. Like, but that don't even make sense. But these people wild. No way Mel agree with all this cap. Oh man. Oh 06 was Nash. Oh yeah, that'd be a dope year. Yeah, I might do 06 for sure. I definitely might do 06. But since we're talking about the Michael Jeffrey Jordan Award and talking about Michael Jeffrey Jordan, let's go ahead and discuss the GOAT, right? So I heard a couple of, like, Reggie Miller did a podcast, and I want to say it was with All the Smoke. I think it was Reggie, but this was like last month. I kind of wanted to react to it, but I never did. So this is kind of old, what he talked about. And what he said kind of goes hand in hand with some of the stuff that I've heard other places. So not only am I going to play Reggie Miller's soundbite, there's Ron Artest. There's a assistant coach that's on the Hoops Genius podcast, which is BJ Armstrong's podcast, and his co-host Mo. There was one of the assistants for the Detroit Bad Boy Pistons talking about MJ. There was Chris Mullin talking about MJ. And of course, Reggie Miller, man. I'm going to play for y'all some of the things they said, man, just to remind y'all on how this man's career was from start to finish, man. This is the Detroit Pistons coach. You go here first, and then after that, you're going to hear Chris Mullin talking about their time when they played at the Olympics when he was a junior in college at North Carolina. And then you're going to hear Reggie, and then you're going to hear Ron Artest.
And those two guys guarding Michael Jordan. And even with those two guys, Michael was that incredible. That's why I said there's Michael Jordan, and then don't give me any other comparisons.
And this is coming from his rival team's coach.
Oh, yeah. There were no hugs and kisses after these games. These were brutal, brutal. If you can go and Google Michael Jordan's hard fouls by the Pistons, every foul that we committed against him were plays that you would get ejected from a game nowadays. That's how bad they were.
He said, based on how they game plan for MJ, based on how they beat MJ up, how he took those fouls and kept trucking, he basically gained a respect for MJ based on how he knew they was approaching the game against him, and how they was playing mental games, trying to punk him, see how tough he is and all this stuff, how he beat him up, and how he continued to keep going and keep scoring and keep being unstoppable. He said after that, he was like, I seen it up close and personal. He said, it's Michael Jordan, and then after that, don't give me another comparison. Like he's not even accepting any conversation as far as a debate. You get what I'm saying? It's almost like when Eve was in the garden and the serpent came and was like, "Are you sure that you're not supposed to eat of that tree?" Right? What was she supposed to do is say, I know I know for a fact I'm not supposed to eat from that tree, and I know this so well that I'm not even going to entertain a conversation with you. Because once she started entertaining a conversation with the serpent, he tricked her. He smooth talked her. He got her to take of the tree. She tricked her own self. And that's how you really supposed to approach these conversations when it's supposed to be the GOAT. You know, anybody that's coming to you to try to tell you is a debate with any other player and Michael Jordan, don't talk to him and just walk away. There's no point to even talk. That person's already gone. It's like The Walking Dead. Once they get bit, it's a wrap. Let them go. Go and be a zombie out there. Go to the Braun Hive. You can go on out there. Go put all that Diddy oil on you and all that honey. Go do that. Soak up in it. Right? That's that. Why are we talking? Why would I talk to someone that insane? Right? So that's what he said. He said, look, man, don't even bring me another conversation. That's what Bob Knight said too. He said, it's Michael Jordan. Don't even think about any other guys. They're not even close. Here's Chris Mullin about that time in the Olympics when he was in college still.
That team was loaded.
Who was on that team in '84?
That was Michael, Patrick, Sam Perkins, Wayman, Tisdale. He played the bass guitar backwards.
Yeah.
Lefty.
Yeah, Tisdale.
Right?
Tisdale was dope.
That was Michael's ultra coming out party.
Yeah.
We were all in the same high school class. I had saw Michael the first time in the McDonald's All-American game. '84, we played 8 exhibition games against NBA teams. Mm-hmm. If you look at those rosters, it was Magic.
Yeah.
Isaiah.
Yeah.
McHale.
Bird.
All the top guys.
Yeah.
And almost every night, Michael was the best player by far as a junior in college. That's crazy.
He said they playing NBA teams, and he named all the greats: Bird, Magic, McHale, Isaiah. He named all the greats. And he said, as a junior in college, Michael Jordan was by far the best player on the floor every single time. The best. You're not even a professional yet. You're a junior in college, and you're the best player on the floor. That's not just speed, power, athleticism, leaping ability. That's not just that, right? That's also, I can outshoot you. I can outsmart you. I can defend you better than you can defend me. I can take you inside, outside. I can take you in the post. I'm more competitive. I want to win more. My drive is better. Like all of it. That's what being better is all about. That's interesting. Reggie Miller talked about how he ain't had no weaknesses and how he was strong as hell, like one of the strongest shooting guards in the league.
There was no weaknesses. I equate it to like this. It was like, and maybe this is how centers feel when they were going against Shaq. He was Shaq of shooting guards. He was just too strong. And then he had a 48-inch vertical. So you were never blocking his shot.
I got a 50. Shit.
And he could stop on a dime, his handles, and then he held the ball like it was like an orange. So he's taunting you, holding the ball on your face, the tongue is all out and shit. Black eyes are looking at you, and I'm looking right back at him. Yeah, motherfucker, I ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
And he's looking at you, and man, no weaknesses. There was no weaknesses.
What made you?
No weaknesses. How many times you heard anyone say that about LeBron? I've heard it said about Kobe. I heard it said about Mike. I've also heard people say Mike had no weaknesses, and I heard them say that Kobe had one weakness, his post defense. I don't think Kobe was as strong as Mike either. That's what Ron Artest was about to talk about.
Jordan's so special on the defensive end? Because I hear a lot of people say you look at him and he was a lot stronger than what he appeared to be.
For sure. Jordan is strong. That's the difference between Jordan and Kobe. RIP Kobe. Jordan, he's almost as strong as like myself and LeBron.
Right.
Not quite.
Right.
But right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure like the guys that played against him would say the same thing.
Right.
Yeah. Kobe might have gave me 40 once. You know, nobody ever scored 50 on me. I don't even think anybody ever scored 44. Only like LeBron might have had 40. So if I compare that, I think Jordan was a little bit better maybe than those guys.
Right.
I think Jordan would have gave me 50 a couple times.
Really?
The reason I say that, because even in my prime, he had 40 against us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When he was old.
Right.
He was old.
Right.
I was an amazing defender.
Right.
And Jordan had 40.
Right.
So I'm like, what the hell is going on?
He said, first of all, he's strong, way stronger than you think he is, because he don't look that strong. He said he's just as about as strong as me and LeBron. Ron Artest is a big dude, right? LeBron's a big dude. Mike is not that big compared to them two. For him to be just as strong as them, right? I mean, Reggie Miller is saying the same thing. Like, man, he was strong, man. Like, you just don't understand how strong that dude was. You didn't see Michael Jordan getting pushed off his block that much. When he went in the post, he got the position that he wanted most of the time. Wasn't nobody pushing him off his spot. When he was defending the post, he did well doing that. Like, you don't see him getting a manhandled other than the Detroit. That lets you know Detroit was really beating this dude up, because he went down a lot against Detroit, and he's not the type of dude that flops and want to go to the ground. So the fact that he was hitting the ground as much as he was against Detroit, they was really putting him on that ground. Strong dude. And maybe Detroit was part of the reason why he was so strong. I mean, we know it got him in the gym more often. We know he got on the weights purposely, to withstand what he was having to go through with Detroit. So maybe he owed to Isaiah and the Bad Boy Pistons. But these dudes saying he was strong. Ron Artest said when I played him at 40, he gave me 40. And I was in my prime and probably the best I was as a defender, and couldn't understand how MJ was getting 40 on me with one leg at 40 years old. Right. So I don't know. Sometimes I think you got to just remind yourself who the GOAT is every now and then. You just got to remind yourself, man. And then every now and then you got to remind yourself who the baby GOAT is, and talk about the Mamba. Right. And then sometimes you got to remind yourself who the paper GOAT is and talk about LeBron every now and then. But that's all I got for tonight. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Appreciate the phone calls and the super chats and all the comments. Do me a favor really quick, like right now, hit the like button. Also, right before we end this, do me another favor. Hit the share button and send it to somebody that you know that like basketball or sports in general, and just send it to them. Be like, hey man, I got to tell you about this podcast, man, and it's pretty good, man. Just share it with somebody really quick, one person. But make sure you hit that like button for sure. I'm gonna need that. I be getting cheated on likes pretty bad, man. I'm like, dang, man, I be staying up all night. I be putting illustrations together, man. I'm taking phone calls, and I'm doing all this stuff. I can be in some cheeks right now if I want to, but I be doing all this stuff, and all I be asking for is a like. And they be like, on 2,000 views and 200 likes. I be like, man, come on, man. Like, or like right now, there's 150 watching live, and I look at the likes, and it'd be like 40. Like, man, out of 150 people, like nobody can't just grab their phone and just say, let me hit like for this guy real quick, man. Let me see how many people hit the like button on this one right now. Because we got 150 in here. If I look at it and it ain't at least 125 likes, I ain't gonna know what to do. I'm gonna do something drastic though. Let me see how many likes it is. $103, not bad. Okay. Y'all treat me right a little bit. I can dig it. 100 and something. Yeah, I can dig it. 125 would be nice though. Keep hitting the like button. 125 would be way better. Sure, if I get 125 in the next minute, I might do another topic. Y'all make my day. Somebody, Know Your Boy said he sees 31 likes. You gotta refresh Know Your Boy. I see one. I see 105. We can't get 125. I gotta end it then. Can't get to 125. We was almost there. All right, man. We'll try again tomorrow. But yeah, peace, man. I'll catch y'all next time. Oh, the game tomorrow. So I'll probably be in the post game tomorrow after tomorrow night. All right, so peace.